Welcome to episode 5 of Beyond Zero's podcast. Coming up,
Human Rights e kene dinthong tsa bo mesebetsi, e kene dinthong tsa bo di-sports, e kene dinthong tsa bo like in the community.
Fumana hore ntse ona le challenge ya hore di-ID tsa bona tse sebediswang mo di-health facility di ntse di tshwere mabitswane a bona e leng hore they are dead names for bona.
True.
So you can imagine how ile mane facility ole ausi ya motle a rwetseng ditopo a kentse with ya high and then sister o tla fela a o bitsa Peter.
Feel gore tlamehile be a safe space. How fitla sister e be le ena a kalang a fa attitude. So kile why experience into John.
Hanyane because not actually sister Clark mo clinicing.
But re bua ka taba ya we ka taba ignorance, or sometimes people choose to be ignorant in society in general. Sometimes what's about clinicing is saying because what's about has to the mol dineo kena lo kala hore yo una le mona abako sa drama a re batla file pink.
You can understand how if I were to get the job, I feel at the space.
Yeah.
The person at about my CV kana kwa yo. I can never moody I want a full application.
today we will be discussing stigma and discrimination on accessing health services with Aaron Moloisi.
Welcome to it, another important conversation brought to you by Beyond Zero. We know we need to talk about these important issues because if it's not able, if so it is very important to have this conversation. And Beyond Zero, the entire team, thank you so much for making this happen. Remember that you can always track the conversation on socials, #BeyondSilence. So if ever now you want to get some information regarding any of the topics that we discuss on the Beyond Zero podcast, you can actually give us a call on a toll-free number 08000 638 08000 638, or even DM. You just slide into our DM on Facebook, on X, formerly Twitter, and also Instagram, Beyond Zero SA. I've got my lovely guests here. We're having conversation before this, so obviously there's a lot to talk about. We're going to try and cover as much as we can, the most important parts. Dumelang.
Hi.
Elishabu. Dini.
Hey Aaron.
Oshap.
Ishap.
Utaba shapatsu. Kodo shemile site. Tatos.
Hi.
Lege.
I am
But
giving
about
yourself a
Ozan. V.
Yebo.
Oshap Valentine.
Ke handla holo fela.
O hantle. What's about hantle bona le hantle?
Yeah, ke la bohlano.
Ke la bohlano. Ke le ditabeng.
Okay.
What's about hangata ne ha re bua ka with human rights. Sometimes you know them, you just don't know you know them. You know, sometimes we don't. We get taken advantage of. We don't get to access what we're supposed to access because it's our basic human right. In your experiences, in fact, Valentine, what do you understand how to work our human rights?
What's about women rights di broad. And ka bua ka kitaba ya ditokelo tsa botho mo ileng hore women rights e kene dinthong tsa bo mesebetsi e kene dinthong tsa bo di-sports e kene dinthong tsa bo like in the community work project ntho tse ngata tse leng hore di involve community but
ha ke batla understand how re ditokelo di ngata o tshore mang le mang una le tokelo ya hore a thole mosebetsi a gone bapala sport a gone thola thuso go tsa maphelo, healthcare, access to healthcare. Tse ding ke tse fine examples.
Se ding le bo governmenteng batho ba hloka fumana ditokelo tsa bona tse hantle. And then kudisetso ya ka hane ke bala some article itse ngwana ha motho ha hla le ngwana qala fitla lefatsheng o sentse ana le di-rights.
Clar.
Sentse ana le di-rights. Ya mo le mo ileng hore qetellong and then ke mo le mo batho ba tla be le hore the way re phelang ka teng ha re atlameya ho hlekefetsana di thotse ka ntseo. Maybe verbally or physically.
Okay. Tata o ntse dumellana le yena.
True. I think everybody has every right to be who they want to be, everywhere. Workspace, in public, you need to be the person that you want to be, not be discriminated for the person that you are. So we have a lot of problems whereby if you're going to be a teacher and then only a certain way, you're not supposed to teach those kids because you are a certain way.
An example.
If you are I'll say a gay person, and then you wear feminine clothes,
a cross-dresser, and another,
and then you go to a public school to go teach, it becomes a problem. Why should a certain person So it's a problem.
Do you think it's a curry? Because let's say homophobic, but they discriminate. They discriminate because habatsebi. Nakongwe kore ba tseba too much. A discriminate are na ke batlo ngwana ka rutwe ke motho a cross dresser because o ruta ngwana ka ntotseng.
It's discrimination.
Yeah.
It's discrimination with lack of knowledge.
They
don't want to know. They get knowledge, but they don't want to use the knowledge that they get. Do you understand? So, I'm sorry to put it like this, but typical black people, they just push it aside.
Ignorance?
Yeah, might be. Guy. Yeah.
Or they choose, I'm going to behave like I don't know, or
I want to show the certain person how I can do this.
Yeah. Have you experienced that?
Not really in my situations, but I have people that have experienced that. In my situation, is the only simple things. I wouldn't say discrimination as much, but it's lack of knowledge. Whereby you go to a police station and you have transitioned, they see a feminine woman in front of you, but then your ID, my ID was that boyish guy, AK-77 at that time. So they wanted me to use my ID that I'm using now because they thought that wasn't me.
So you fully transitioned now?
Not fully transitioned, but I am on hormones.
You're on hormones?
But my ID has changed to
okay.
female.
So salute thing. So to tato clari. You know, you work in this space, I get it. Yes. So like, or maybe access to healthcare because that's hard.
In need.
Sometimes that's hard because habatsu now is alang kamul. Sometimes that's hard because habatlo ra hakena fela batlo. Oh, we am learning if tleko kai utlo eng. What are some of the challenges when how she will say tsang hore batho ba access to healthcare?
Some of the challenges they are already experienced transgender people like tatwa sa hlalositse ka taba ya sex assigned birth and gender identity or transitioning. O fumana hore ntsona le challenge ya hore di ID tsa bona tse sebediswa mo di health facility di ntse di tshwere mabitswane a bona ileng hore they are dead names to bona.
True.
So you can imagine how ile man facility ole ausi a motle a rwetseng ditopo a kentse with ya high and then sister o tla fela a obitsa pita. Ke some of the challenges tse leng hore di etsa hore ba ske ba le self confidence ya hore ba fumane ba ile di facility.
Do you think from into it's gore busister ba bangata yes they might have trained professional ho ba busister but bona as batho they still have issues?
Yeah, it might happen or some of the issues they have lack knowledge, but everyone knows or they have that thing of discrimination, the attitude towards the patient regardless of patient is a transgender or what. So it can be both. The attitude.
That must be frustrating also, Valentine. I'm just thinking, Nahana, you come to a facility so so you're comfortable, you feel a safe space. How feel sister Ibeli a galang alpha attitude? So kilo by experience and John?
Because not actually sister Clark mo clinicing before Kinga transfer kia clinicing anyway. And then
Wila banka le transfer.
ke la ka nka transfer
Ne o le thata mos.
because hona jwale in mo di-clinicing ho se sebediswa di-file tse blue le tse pink and then a blue ke ya male people and then a pink ke ya female
Yeah.
and then rona mo spacing sa rona ha hona e re identifyang
True.
and then tlaka ba mpotsa hore ko etse a blue or a pink mara ke iputsitse ke re motho na hampone ke pink nna ka bona I can't put like wa tshwantse a mpotsa mara he ka baka la hore o kile bona ho le patient ha ba tle dinto ha ba tle eng ke be ke kopa fela a pink a ba okay thank you a ba nketsa yona a pink.
Before kopa a pink, how did you feel at that moment? Har ko wena o batla a blue kapa a pink na?
I can feel I'm not. I wasn't okay at all. And, you know, at the moment, because if you can check the register we are more, and then people are listening at the back.
Conversation e etsala pela batho.
Hey,
During the people.
Because I was going to open a file. During the people.
And then
she opened a file, I got a bula, the other side, more than
okay.
The file it at when the file arrived, it was the pink file.
Yeah.
Of which I understand Hunter Ribuali translating bona ha bana di file tse pink. Ba file di file wa ka mo ba bona nka teng, di file tsa bona di blue.
Okay.
And le bona ha ya ba tshwara hantle because ha o ka sheba ba utlwa ka rona hore no o tsebe hore e pink ke ya bo female and then e blue ke ya bo ntate. So ba ithola ba le situation e leng hore file tsa bona di blue.
And ho chore tlaka ha ba bula le file ha ba botsa o bula fela because yena o entse judgment from what they see I bonang aba etsa qeto mono hore okay so
same applies le health practitioner nurse e thusa motho a tshwereng file e blue answer mona go tshwana le okay why ask a question what's thinking ke nana o fue file e wrong nurse tamela botsa go ke nana o fue file e wrong e re ke lo botsa gore ke bone ba fa file e pink because ha go bone o tshwanela ke file e blue.
Yeah.
They don't. They're just working on that blue file, and that means.
And which takes me back to human rights. Every human being has the rights to education, to knowledge. Do you think to avoid the case how fisher we identify as motozwan?
I think it's very important. It has been said, you ask a certain person, what do you identify as? Mr. or Ms. You understand? You need to ask a certain person, confidence. If ever file a blue, I mean, bring her down on my confidence. You killing me inside. You are frustrating me and get right into the kind of frustration and say, I don't know where to take them out. You understand? So it's very important to address who are strong as a person.
But also, it starts with the person. The person must know they've got the right to have that information given to them.
Yes, yes. I think when we know that you have that right, how you have every right to address it. I mean, how okay, do you have another name that you might like me to use? ID. You have knowledge of something, and it's few nurses that have that nowadays.
Yeah. Is that the challenge, or a lot of nurses and health practitioners don't know, or they're just ignorant to it, or is that a challenge?
I think in most cases, Aaron, it's being ignorant because we as Tulwane Emulimo, in most of our facilities, we do sensitization to sensitize them about the transgender people, how they should accommodate them. So I think sometimes it's ignorant, but sometimes we can say maybe the reshuffling of the staff, it can be the issue because we can go there, sensitize them, and then you will find that when you go there is another person that
Yeah.
is
But shouldn't it be a standard procedure? Anybody who enters the health profession, it must be standard.
Yes.
You're going to be working with different people across the spectrum. Whether it's transi, whether it's MSM, whether any member of the LGBTQ community, you must be able to deal with it.
Yes.
Maybe that's what needs to change.
True. I think it's also comes from who you are, how you address people, your personality. It will determine also, because you have to treat everyone with equal, regardless of gender or sex.
Maybe it goes back, when we were growing up, never keep calling. So no, the health practitioner because it's salary.
It might be the reason.
How the calling is standard. And you make sure they're comfortable.
Yes.
Let's shift the conversation a bit. We look at ignorance, or sometimes people choose about ignorant in society in general. Sometimes what's about clinicking is saying because what's about has to do dinero can a look yeah, una limon. Abakosa drama, Arubatla file pink, remove a blue. Understand? Do you think the general public, Libona, they contribute to the fear of wanting to access healthcare? Because it's easy to violate somebody's human rights if you think you know or if you think you're superior.
Yeah, Aaron, I think that might be one of the reasons, but I think the issue of privacy or the confidentiality, if it can be the thing that is happening, we should avoid that certain issue of the community show you that they gave you a blue or pink file. If there will be a confidentiality, a private space where you can share your emotions or whatever that you went to the facility, we can avoid that thing of the community being accessing to my private whatever that I went there with. Yeah.
Valentine, so has it well about ne? Remember that transfer saving for family about to pink, even about blue, ne? What do you find is a common challenge or situation? Kita barahabatsebi or kita barabatshaba ho botsa ka ditokelo tsa bona.
Ke realize go habatsebi because haba botsa like nna go fe file e blue or e pink. O pole nna ha ne ke botsui bane ke bile fast ka kelello ka tlekana na fast ka tseba ka le blue e wela kae e pink e wela kae.
Le so tseba wena.
Ne ke sa tsebe but nna itse hamposa ka be ke ba le kelello ya hore no obviously a blue ke ya batho ba bontate and then nna ke bela ka ho e pink. And then ke Department of Health ke re tshwere jalo ka tsela yo.
Yeah.
The discrimination di ngata department tse ngata. Maponiseng di WhatsApp group politiki governmenteng ke batla ba le hanyane tabeng ya health department.
Yeah.
Because ke batla ho apply nna like currently now nze ke le busy bile ne ke kene ka group ke botsa my sisters bona ke ba botsa ke re jole ke tsere Z83 and mara yaanong implela ka male or female.
King Z83.
Ke application form ya government.
Ya msebetsi
I'll apply to a government position, any government.
You apply a tender masadi. Okay.
Now, ke fumana a government re faila mo because I want mo ba botsang male, female or other.
Oh yes, actually.
So that I can specify now re ke wele kae ke wela kae.
Or but refer non-binary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can understand how if I were to get the job, I feel at the space.
Yeah.
The person at about my CV kana kwa yo. I can never moody. I want to hire a full application.
True.
Then I lose the job. Then I lose the job. If I write whatever I ngolang o ya ka nna ke le member LGBTI. Le teng hona le ba anti LGBTI mo ba homophobic I phumula.
True.
So I don't feel safe at all.
Or mohlomong as a TG member, how so got the new ID, ne? Zanzan service the previous ID. Then how le tjena? Wa bona?
It was one of those things that we talked about. Like, if you're going to identify the way you are, why not fill the space? Yeah, the female you get. What I solve a bill. How fit like that? This is me. ID ID. Then you move forward with your life, because we can't always. Every time we have to explain ourselves, we say, no, I'm this. No, I'm why would like ID? So no, get idea. Now you have to work in your school.
You've got a point there, but again, I want to challenge you. Can't you one? Female, ne?
Okay.
Working ID. How about a short list of the background check? What about you? So this idea would high on. Or maybe when it's a mistake, are female can take email.
Yeah.
And then how try let ne? Do you think it will be easy to solve hassle copy?
It's not gonna be easy, but I think it's going to be learnable. You will also be teaching them. By the way, I am this person that I am. It'll be and yes.
How like? Usathola ba le ba ka office tsa government ba kale.
Guy, yes, yeah, guy.
We're offline, no? We're offline. Yeah.
I a little bit disagree with Tato on that one, because now it will depend, like we are saying, Aaron, what kind of a person you will meet to understand that you didn't specify when you did the application that I think it is very important in the first place when you are applying to specify that I am a transgender woman, so that now the technology is updated. Even if they don't understand what is a transgender, they can Google and be able to know what is the meaning of the transgender, so that when they call you for an interview, at least they have a little bit knowledge about what is happening, unlike you didn't specify in the first place.
Let me just make sure I understand. Valentino Bilori, tola species are male, female, fella.
Yes.
So chor wena engwale mo, first le mo badla ibona.
Even if the cover letter you can specify somewhere.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it makes sense now.
Because I think that would make things easier. Because I mean, do what you need to do, and then first of all, it might come across as fraud.
Fraud, yeah.
Yes.
You know, it's a criminal activity. It's faking identity. So there's a whole lot of other things. You lose the opportunity because I don't know when you misrepresented who you are.
Yes, Aaron. It's the same thing as when we are doing our support groups with the transgender. We encourage them to be specified, to be specific in the first place. Sometimes when they are at the clubs meeting the nice guys, they should specify. I see you love me, but this is what you don't see, ne? So that we can avoid the violations, because sometimes a person could spend the whole night his money, ne? And then when we go, you didn't specify, and then there we will experience the violations.
But so kita haya kiri ifuratile wena uratile wena.
But specify.
Uratile bu wena hali fitla ko ntlong a thola call center ya hasiona.
Intelligence tshwana ha fumana hore call center ena ha se yona, batho ba tshwana kire e mong kwa maikutlo wa o bolaya why o nontso samplelle nane ke nahana hore ho so, but it is important hore how di qala fela ba santsa o jwetsa, because sometimes you will find hore motho ha rati sena se wena o se buang o shebile wena and ho etsa jwalo ko ona o avoid the violations tse unnecessary tse leng hore di a etsa.
But then where do we begin to change the status quo, to make sure that everybody's human rights are adhered to, they are respected, they are protected, they are not violated?
Talking about it a lot. Talking about it, people learning about it, people understanding about it, lubricating everything. People must know a certain thing. Because most people right now ban babana as trans women as the freaks. You understand? you are a freak to certain people if you are a trans woman.
Yeah.
Or I see this body on top and then at the bottom I see that different body.
For some people, it's a fetish.
It is a
People
fetish.
pay lots of money.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, a lot of it, yes, they do pay it.
Yeah.
But for your safety, I think people have to learn and they have to know about it, talk about it a lot.
But until when? Because the heterosexual community, let me just single out the heterosexual community, they never go around and say, hi, ki Aroni, I'm straight.
Yes.
Or hi, ki Mamang, I'm bi, or if whatever they identify as. Why is it that every single member of the LGBTQ needs to explain themselves?
Exactly.
You know? Because it's as if we kupela space more. Approval.
Yes.
Desperate.
Acceptance. Yes. So it's a concerted effort. I tell like one in fact, Luna as but that provides service to the bigger population and the key population members. What do you think needs to happen in your facilities, like Buturan Emblem?
I think like we are doing the dialogues, the campaigns, is not enough. But what I think we should also include the perpetrators in this issue, and also when we are doing these campaigns, these community dialogues, the issue that we are missing is that we don't when we are talking about the transgender, we don't bring them to the community dialogues. So I think that is the gap, because what we are talking about, people don't understand what is a transgender woman. Maybe if we can bring them to our dialogues and then they can speak for themselves, that can be
like this simple principle, nothing about us without us. Because then we buang sanse.
And the high bua again na have I utlwisisi if it can come to Tato as person e o aphelang ka ntho eo a hlalose hantle ba khone ho utlwisisa le bona hore ba be ba bua hore mara next o no sa bona halo ke la bona, unlike hanna ke bua ka yona ke le dineo ba sa khone ho e bona.
Yeah. Na go ngo sebedisa le the wrong terminology.
Na go ngwe le nna self nne ke offended.
And no go offended because how say
you are not aware,
or no go offended because you're stoned. You know, it really depends.
Yeah.
You agree very strongly.
You need to say what you are when I buang out there for people to get you. Because if another person I buang, when you gossip, I get gossip, something still trying. But when I tell you a point you from me as that person, it comes straight short and you're going to understand it more.
From the horse's mouth?
Yes.
Or from the pony's mouth? Rekaiza?
For now, because I get government in the the application form identity name renally organization ya rena ke ya bo Medineo, but it's telling all la renal mutshona ke motho a tjena. There's a reason why as a feeling money ni mo gending is because of this thing.
Good idea.
Yeah, so just for security.
Brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Almost like a letter of recommendation, but from a qualified medical practitioner.
Yeah.
Aturing lingwalo lena motho this is the situation. Wow. Okay. I like that.
This is the person and him address ka sela e itseng. Ba khona ho tseba ba dila le motho ba ke CV ya motho a jwang a itshwereng.
Yeah. And then back home, because sometimes how look at let's say you're still under the care of the parents, ne? Utsa oli pita ka motho, sorry backpack, have it so jumper strata, wa change, because have understand the control.
What's about painful jwang? Because it's been happening for many years. I remember when I was still young, in a year because my friends, some of my friends, they were doing it. And then it has really body, like all of Katalabo High School.
Yeah.
Mutua would also get hatched to go to Maka would drop bush on kids get a kitchen hanga. Now Emma Jordan Kibamanga in Sabotubak. Why? Because they are tired. Sorry, hantle o eme kae hantle o eme kae
And le bana ba botsa sometimes ngwana tlo tlhela ba re are you male or female
le nna ke tswa moo
okay
le sekolong ke le high school ne ke dlala netball and then luckily sekolo se ne ke sekena le banyane ba apara marukgwe a grey
okay
but matitšhere a ba ipotsa mangwanyana o ba bona le ene di ba botsa dipotso bana ba bantse ba utlwa and then these other children ba tla ba tlomplela gore titšhere na botsa gore ha o bapala netball ai man o tlola go feta banyana ba bang kaofela so ke re
go tsore ne trapalo
why bon and then I also remember like ile police station next time monyane I was over 18 ke na le ID ne ke le bula case before I started with transition yeah ke le
no look like he's saying no it's saying no look like he's saying
ke sa hopola ne dintse
okay a se ke mo o ba ne le mo tshwarisa mo yeah
re tshwarisa ke now le bontsha be le mpotsa gore mara ke o bona ngwanana I can see you're a girl but ID number sa haji tlhalose the same
aha
I was young and ke sa tsebe ka taba tsa di transition ho se go ba le awareness ntse etsahala ka nako tseo because it was in the 90s jwale I was like stuck le ponisa le yona la nthusa but le complain man something is wrong le sa understand ke di kutle bohloko but o la nthusa but ke utle bohloko oh I remember ne ke lwetsa affidavit
okay
yeah but ne ke utle bohloko anyway bontsha ke khale nana ke 10 years back but le no ntse dutse ka kelelong ya ka ntse
because you felt violated as a person you felt for somebody why are we dipotso man
tse jwalo
tse jwalo
so wa tseba ka dibotsa mara tse jwalo
so like Tato suggesting awareness let's continue to talk about these things continue to talk about these topics I like particularly what you said Valentine hore other members of the transgender community ne ba sa tsebe and ha tsebo e se teng bothata bo qala mo just like human rights if you don't know your rights it's easy for anybody else to violate your rights because you don't know so knowledge let's continue to advocate let's continue to give information and knowledge about human rights and know each other last words
I will be very happy if ke batla to stress ka government because ke yona e replaceang ka batho bana na ha hona di application form mo ba ilukise ha ba ka ba ilukisa government o sebetsa batho ba bangata ha ba ka ba ilukisa ha o bula bank account ho ya tjeo ya tlase ha ine khale ntse re bitsa ka bo mister batho ba bangata ho tla be se ntse na le awareness so just right from the top ya tlase
Tato
we have a lot of trans women in Free State. It would be nice if a lot of trans women come out, we tackle this all together. Love yourself, be proud of who you are, respect yourself, let us build a sisterhood, and then the community will understand us. That's all I'm gonna say.
beautiful
Yeah.
let's build sisterhood do you know
I think if we can treat everyone with respect and dignity, because we are all human beings, regardless of gender, sex, or race.
Beautifully said. I mean, at the end of the day, Lorona, especially as black people, like you mentioned, Tato, we've got so many idioms. Mutu ka batho. Umntu ngumntu ngabantu. Understand? Ka speed re na le se sengwe se ya mari re batho ke diphoofolo tsa go phela ka seoka. Simply translated, no man is an island. We're all in this together. And if next time what you're going through, I'm not going to be able to help. And so let's learn to speak. Let's learn to share whatever that hurts us. You know, sometimes somebody will hurt because that's us information. So let's learn to be together and let's build sisterhood. That's what we said. Let's stay empowered. Let's continue to talk the conversations. This is proudly brought to you by Beyond Zero. I did tell you that if you want to continue to follow the conversations on our socials, follow our hashtag Beyond Silence. That's the campaign that we're running. And also you can DM us because sometimes you haven't got some information or you've got extra questions. So now let's go into Facebook, X, Instagram, Beyond Zero SA. That's where you'll find us. Or toll-free number, 08000 6038. 08000 6038. Beyond Zero. Be empowered. Thank you. See you next time.
This podcast is brought to you by Beyond Zero for its adolescent and young people's program, Men Who Have Sex with Men program, and transgender program. We are Beyond Zero.